And it's funny that you said that, because I had to answer a question the other day of what is either the best or worst financial decision that you've ever made. And I think the best financial decision that I ever made was not getting into debt early. Even though we didn't have any money, we figured out a way to not be in debt. And that was the biggest thing. I did not want to go into life with hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, right? Yeah, and to really minimize that as much.
Because I think that's where a lot of people mess up early on. Is because in high school, they're telling you, go to college, get a good degree. And they're pushing these universities that, and they're in this lifestyle, like, oh, you go off, you meet all these people, you know, you can really change your life and get some great opportunities in it. But I mean, at 18, they're still kids.
Yeah.
A lot of parents haven't even let their kids think for themselves yet.
Yeah.
And so a lot of kids are going off to these big cities, and they don't even know what they're doing, and they're just like, they don't even know what they want to go to college for.
Yeah.
And so they're just jumping. You kind of knew what you wanted to go for, at least. But a lot of these kids, they're changing 2-3 times, and maybe changing different schools. And people should really start saying, hey, if you don't know exactly what you want to do, don't waste your time. Go to work or go to a community college, try some classes out, and see what your passion is.
Get a trade. Get a trade, man. If that's what you think you're into, follow that. If you're passionate about something,
you can be slightly passionate.
That's right. You can find success.
Because only thing I was passionate about was cars.
Yeah.
And I liked auto body. That was the only thing I was passionate about. But everyone told me, oh, that's not a career. That's not going to make any money. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I wasted years because everybody told me auto body wasn't a thing. And I'm taking advice from people I should have never taken advice from. I was 17, 18 years old looking up to these people, and they had a house and cars and families, and I thought they knew what they were talking about. So I wasted 2-3 years of my life not doing auto body, and it got to the point where I was like, Ryan, you need to make some money.
Yeah.
And I was working in factories while also going to college, trying to do both. And it got to the point where I was like, I don't care about any of these classes, and I hate the factory jobs. And it's like, I got to do the only thing that I can tolerate doing every single day to make some money. So I went to school. I did like a quick 1-year program where I could do auto body and just get right in the field, just to learn the basics.
Yeah.
And that people should be saying that more.
I agree.
And even like the Lynn Tech thing, they try to push, oh, you need to get your gen eds there. And then, because people don't understand when you go to Lynn Tech that you get your certificate in whatever you're doing, and then you get your associate's degree. They're not all combined. You don't get an associate's degree in auto body or welding.
Right.
You get a certificate for welding, and then you get your...
And you're getting associates along
you
with
get
it.
Your associates. I'm like, screw the associate's degree. Just go. If you like welding, just go for welding.
Give me the cert. Let's go.
Yeah, because a welding shop's not going to be like, what'd you get in English class?
Yeah.
They could care less. They want to make sure you can weld a clean bead and show up to work every day on
That's
time.
right.
And so I think they really need to start. That was something I've been telling, like, if I've had some younger people come to me, and I'm like, go and do exactly what you want to do and try to save, go the cheapest route. Because most of the time an employer is looking at who you are and do you have the knowledge to do it. They don't care about the classes. I never once had anybody ask me for a report card. Now, some fields, you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, or some fields, yes, you probably need a little more, but especially just find something you like to do and do it. And like you said, don't get into too much debt. My sister did the same thing, and she's criminal justice, but she went to SLU, spent way too much money, and she says all the time now, she's like, man, I could have done it so much cheaper.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think so many people think that whenever they come out of it, and you gotta think about what kind of money are you going to make for this education that you're getting. So I kind of loosely know this professor from Seton Hall, and he wrote a book called Higher Education Accountability, and it's all about, honestly, we need to hold these educational institutions to a higher level of, if I'm paying $100,000 or $200,000 or whatever it is to get this education, I need to be able to get a job that's going to make me some money.
Yeah.
Right?
It's almost
if you're not ready, yeah, it is. If you're not prepared, if you're not coming out of college prepared with everything that you need to get a really good career started, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. If you were any type of business person or investor and you're going into this and you put it, like, if you built a business plan looking at this, you wouldn't do it because it's a bad investment.
Right.
Because you're like, I don't know what it costs to go to SLU. Let's say $50,000 a year. You go for 2 years.
Yeah.
You only go for 2 years. That's $100,000 in debt. You need to be making quite a bit of money. But let's say you go for 4 years. $200,000 in debt, you really need to make sure you're making some money to be able to make that payment.
That's right.
And survive. Because at the end of the day, if you're just paying the payment and if you can't afford your house, you can't afford a place to live and the gas to get there because your student loan debt is so expensive. That's crazy. Because I'm pretty sure, isn't student loan debt the only debt that does not go away with the bankruptcy?
Yeah. So that's going to be with you forever.
Yeah. So you could take out $1 million on a business or a home or whatever you want. And if you go belly up, the government will say, okay, we forgive you this time.
Yeah.
But if you go to school and you get $500,000 in debt from it, the government's not going to forgive you for that. You got to pay that back.
That's because that's a government loan.
Is that the difference?
Most of the time, yeah.
Dang.
That's not a private loan. The government's not going to let you out.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I guess that does make sense. So I really think that schools should be talking about that more.
Yeah.
Talking more, like pushing community colleges more.
I'm with you.
And try to just financial education should be more important.
Yeah.